Hello YouTube, I'm the Temple Gamer and welcome back to the final episode of Let's Play CK2 as the Holy Roman Empire. So this is the final episode. I've had a lot of fun with this playthrough, I'm not even joking. This has been one of the series that I've been able to just sort of like come back to, and even though there was that stream of just like constant wars and stuff that was really annoying, but there's always still a series I can come back to and just be like, I'm just gonna relax and play some CK2. That'll be fun. And it's still definitely fun, but we've reached sort of an apex of this game. Now, granted, we still have a lot of time left. We have 200 years left in the game. You know, I could probably go and conquer a bunch of stuff if I was a little more quick about it. But honestly, I think I'm just going to end the series now, and I'm not going to stop playing CK2 at all. Can I close all this? That'd be kind of cool. Whatever. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to stop playing CK2 because it's a game I still love, but I'm going to stop playing the default game because first of all, there was a new DLC that came out in the middle of me playing this game, which was the Reaper's Due, and now apparently I guess there's another DLC like Monks and something that's been announced. Holy shit, really? This is suzerain of this guy. Whoa, this king's a suzerain of this emperor. That's really cool, actually. And that king. And this duke. Wow, that's really cool. Sorry. But yeah, so as much fun as I've been having with this campaign, I think I'm just gonna go start up another one. So yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of fun playing through this game. I mean, like, if we can go back to the beginning. So right now we are on Emperor Baldric the Cruel. Pretty good character. His his father was simply a duke who died of illness, but his grandfather, Emperor Harold the Bold, who was one of our, he was arguably one of our better characters. I don't, stats-wise, he wasn't that great, but he did a lot, which was cool. 4 wives too. Wow. His father was King Gerrit the Fat, who actually married Sultana Asrid the Spider, who was let's go over this, I guess. So a few generations before Gerrit, was it King Harry? I'm not sure who it was. Let's see here. It's gonna be kind of hard. So this guy created it. No, where was it? Oh, yeah, go down this way. Let's see. King Hendrik the Great was the first to have this. And his father... Is this us? Yeah, that was one of our characters. Okay, so... back under King Jacob the Mad, I guess. I guess King... Let's see, is Jacob a Crusader? He's not. Oh, maybe... Okay, look, maybe it was King Hendrik the Second, I guess. Yeah, because he's got the Crusader trait. So I guess King Hendrik the Second won a crusade for Jerusalem a long while back, and I immediately gave it over to our brother, King Hendrik the Great, who was a strong... brilliant strategist. He was also a crusader. He had a lot of good traits going for him. And obviously, he made a pretty good ruler that ruled till he was 70. And he ruled over Jerusalem. And one of the many reasons why I gave Jerusalem away immediately was partially because I didn't want to deal with it, because I knew immediately after taking it there'd be a jihad called against it. And there was indeed, and we were called into a war down there, and we went to go help, but I feel like, honestly, King Hendrik really won that war for himself. After that... oh, wait. No, King Hendrik... Wait, no, King Hendrik was indeed the king of... Wait, what? No, King Hendrik I was not the king of... Wait, who the fuck was the king of Aquitaine then? Or, sorry, Jerusalem. Never mind, King Jacob the Hammer was the king. Sympathetic for Islam, apparently. He didn't rule for very long, did he? Okay, I'm totally wrong. Okay, so never mind. We gave it to King Jacob the Hammer. Okay. Blinded wife. I'd assume by the Basilius. Anyway, so he ruled down here, and it was either him or his son, King Dirk, who was able to fend off the first of many jihads against the Kingdom of Jerusalem under our dynasty. And I believe really under Queen Oda, for the most part. The territory expanded greatly, including the island of Cyprus, the Duchy of Tripolitania. And actually, let me pull this back up. Tripoli, or whatever. Minus his province, he had... This independent duke right here is a product of our ancestors' conquests. They also, I believe they came down here and they took over Alexandria as well. So there was and I think eventually this as well. Like there was a lot of conquests done by the Kingdom of Jerusalem. It was it's by far the most successful Kingdom of Jerusalem I've seen in the game. Always, whenever I play this game, Jerusalem is conquered in a crusade, and then immediately lost a few months after due to a jihad, not enough support. So that sucked when that happened. When that happens, but in this one, we were able to hang on to it for a long time, and then the kingdom. Let's see here. Where can I do this? The kingdom was eventually inherited due to Queen Anna married normally some random Norsemen. And it was inherited by someone out of our dynasty. So you can see right here that there were actually 3 people that were outside of our dynasty right here. And maybe kind of our fault. We ended up killing 2 of them, right? And that probably destabilized the realm a lot and weakened it. I still blame it on the fact that it fell out of the Templar line, which was doing extremely well. But yeah, so after that, I guess our great-grandmother married our great-grandfather. And our great-grandfather died quickly and was, he was actually, I remember, so our great-grandfather married our great-grandmother, died very quickly, and he was the one who we wanted to become emperor, but instead his son, King Harold, would become the emperor, and he inherited the kingdom of Jerusalem, and he gave it out immediately because the same reason we didn't want to deal with it. And it crumpled. It crumpled very quickly, and we released a bunch of vassals to be independent, and it got conquered very quickly. Apparently, the King of Aquitaine unrightfully holds this. That kind of annoys me, but whatever. Yeah, let's go leader by leader. So our father didn't do anything. Emperor, we knew with him. King Garrett, we talked about him. He was going to be the one to become the emperor. We were very close to forming the empire. As you can see, we had 3 kingdom titles. We were large enough. We just needed enough prestige, and he was going to go campaign against the Holy Roman Emperor. But he died. How did he die? He was assassinated, I remember. He was assassinated. He was preceded by King Henry III the Just. I don't remember too much about him. But he was a decent character. He became ill and depressed, and he died of illness. His mother, Queen, whatever, she was pretty good if I remember. She ruled from an early age. She was born... Let's see here. I could probably do some math on that, but I'm not going to. Wait, no, that's wrong. Whatever. I remember she ruled from a very early age. I think she was one of our first, baby characters that we played as. Her father, King Anno, I believe was pretty good, actually. I have a recollection of him being pretty good for the short reign that he had. He was murdered on the orders of some duke who's dead. Oh, it was one of his kinsmen, too. That sucks. Alright. Played through a few characters, huh? He was preceded by King Hendrik II. He was a good character. I do remember him doing a lot. His stats were really poor, now that I look at him, but he ruled for a long time, which was cool. King Hendrik I, the Great, was an amazing character, and he was, in fact, the last, congenitally, or whatever, good congenital trait character that we played as. All the characters going, back from this character were all, I believe, strong or genius. They were all very, very good characters with good traits that they inherited. We have, since King Hendrik I, never played as a character that was strong or genius or quick or attractive. It was just sort of we just had to rely on the good kingdom and the power of the kingdom that our forefathers built for us, because we no longer had, a 20 martial character to lead us around. Well, we did at some points, I think, but, we never started off the game with just crazy high stats everywhere. These are good stats. Borum was King Jacob the Mad. Again, great martial skills. These stats don't really reflect how good he was, because at the end of his life, he became maimed, so he lost 2 martial. He became stressed. He became a lunatic, which actually doesn't change any stats, but, he was stressed, which is -1 intrigue and -1 stewardship. He was maimed. So, -2 martial. So he actually had a much higher martial, 22, which is crazy. King Wolfgang, he was our first king. He was the founder of the kingdom of Frisia. I believe we became independent under him because we started the game off under the kingdom of Lotharingia, who actually had a lot of territory up here, and he had some territory going down here more. It was a much bigger kingdom than just this. But I believe we started under him. And eventually King Wolfgang expanded enough to be able to form the kingdom. Now back then, the de jure borders of the kingdom of Frisia now is just the duchies of Holland and Gelre. But at the time of starting off this recording, forming the kingdom, it was Flanders and Brabant as well. So you needed all 4. You need basically 3 of those duchies to form the kingdom. And that was really tough. It was a lot easier said than done because those were all controlled by the Carling dynasty. I don't even know if there's any Carlings ruling anymore. I don't think there are. There's not. But if we had looked at that dynasty map at the beginning of the game, all of de jure Aquitaine, France, Lotharingia, Frisia, East Francia, Burgundy, and Italy, and Bavaria were all controlled by the Carling dynasty. And they could all call each other into wars. Because even though they did hate each other, and we tried to play that against them, they would very often still join in each other's favors to defend their titles. They were constantly inheriting each other's kingdoms. So sometimes for a long time, I remember Flanders, which is our best duchy. It's one of my favorite duchies in the game. That was under control of West Francia, who was France. I think it was West Francia at the time, though. Who was an extremely powerful kingdom due to all the kingdoms he'd inherit. So, oh god, we gotta go so far back. Okay. But yeah, so King Wolfgang formed that. He actually had no congenital traits. He didn't, so that's strange. He did, though. Duke Filbert. I believe he was our second character. Maybe third. I think, let me check. Yeah, he was our second character. Duke Filbert. He was a genius, a brilliant strategist. He was a poet, diligent, ambitious, brave, honest, charitable, paranoid. He was just depressed, which brought down all of his stats by 1, and then he was incapable, which brought them all down by 6. So I basically give +7 to all these stats, and that's how amazing this character was. See, I feel like there's no way it was that high of a level. Does that really affect everything even after they're dead? I think it does. Holy shit, dude. Our guy was Filbert was insane. He wasn't even our first character. Our first character was Duke Wolfgang I the Wise. I believe he did his entire life as a vassal, but you can see he had a lot of holdings as a vassal. And he had the stats to back it up. He wasn't quite good as Filbert, which is insane. Again, I can't even imagine how crazy that is. Yeah, we started off the game as him, and He died pretty early on, I think. Oh, wait, yeah, wait, born. No, never mind, he lived for a while, okay. I didn't even notice that it said when they were born. It says when they were born, but not when they were, what do you call it? Not when they were, like, ruling. Yeah, so Duke Wolfgang's the one who started this all off. I am going to be starting up, just really quick, again, I am going to be playing more of this game. I think I'm going to be doing the historical immersion project mod, which is my favorite mod by far. If you guys ever played CK2 Plus, it's basically that, but way better. So I'll be playing that. But before we end this episode, let's go to look around the world, because we haven't done that too much recently. The Abbasids never fell; they only grew stronger. They also gained a lot of territory up here through, I would assume, like inheritance, because I don't know why they would attack all this. But the Abbasids indeed stayed very strong, and they obviously kept the place since the beginning. Yeah, that's just... I mean, I really feel like since the beginning they were kind of the most powerful on the map. Actually, I have my recording thing right there, so excuse me while I click a few things incorrectly. There we go. Okay. So if we look at the realms right now, the independent realms, Aquitaine is the strongest, but we were stronger than Aquitaine for a little bit with a good character. Then the Deccan and the Bengal Empire are next. Obviously, the Arabian Empire, the Abbasid Empire, is the strongest on the map by far. We're actually stronger than the Byzantine Empire. Egypt is very powerful. They're down there. We'll talk about them later. Persia is really powerful. Bulgaria is very powerful. The Holy Roman Empire is actually pretty low on this list. In terms of realm size, the Byzantine Empire is the largest, even though the Arabian Empire looks a lot bigger. Well, I mean, size-wise, it is bigger, but in terms of having like holdings, it's not. Aquitaine is third, and it's pretty far third, to be honest. The Deccan Empire is fourth, and we are fifth on realm size. We're almost 300. If we take one more county, we'll be at 300. We were at 300 before we lost this duchy due to some stupid inheritance with Aquitaine. Yeah. The Byzantine Empire is doing alright. I mean, they lost the rest of Armenia to the Abbasids through like one of those BS full fucking kingdom CBs that they get, which is just insane. I mean, I'm sure it's real. You know, like obviously that's realistic, but God, it's crazy overpowered. Is Bulgaria? They grew massive. They were. I would have hoped that the Byzantine Empire would have like culled them. And whoa, what the hell? Why is the de jure Empire of Byzantium all of this now? The hell? Wait, why is Bulgaria part of the de jure Empire, the Byzantine Empire? Oh my God! Is that because the Kingdom of Bulgaria? Holy crap! Okay, so the Kingdom of Bulgaria, I didn't even notice how it works. The Kingdom of Bulgaria is a de jure part of the Byzantine Empire, and since the Bulgarian Empire has all these places as de jure now, and now the Byzantine Empire does too. That's crazy. Wow. It's not quite true though, is it? No, yeah, it is. Wow, that's cool. Imagine that as a Byzantine Empire. That'd be scary. Holy Roman Empire was formed by the AI. The King of East Francia formed it, I believed. Unfortunately, the thing about the Holy Roman Empire is that it's really not like you create it, and it's just not a powerful institution at all. Elected. Okay, I'm just assuming you created it. Yeah, he did create it. So Kaiser Arnulf the Just created this. He's a decent-ish character. He's infirm, so all these stats would be +3. He was an alright character. That's kind of cool. Aquitaine just grew to massive sizes. So this is the other thing that I kept myself from doing. And you can see just the AI did not follow like our rules, and that's how big the AI got. So the AI went through a series of holy wars against the weakening, well, not even so much weakening, just the slightly weaker, what are they, like Muslim kingdoms or whatever? What are they called? Sultanates or whatever. That's not what they're called. I'm just gonna call them kingdoms. I'm sorry if that offends anyone. I forget the proper name though. Emirates. I still don't know if that's the right name or whatever. Of the Iberian Peninsula, because eventually what ended up happening was, for a while, the Iberian Peninsula was all Muslim. There was like no Christians on here besides like Aquitaine, sometimes having like a foothold, like a county or something. Wow, and Francia is also expanding like that too. Wow. Soon, holy crap! Soon the King of Ireland, once this all gets incorporated into the Kingdom of Aquitaine, soon Ireland's going to be able to form Hispania. It's pretty funny because he has 2 kingdom titles. Anyway, but yeah, so they just kept holy warring over here, and they gained, as you can see, they've gained like no de jure territory. They've actually lost their de jure territory, but they just kept expanding into this weak area down here, and they grew crazy powerful. That sort of exploitation has been our main thing that we've avoided throughout this entire campaign, and I'm proud of that. I feel we have you can at any point, especially playing at this area in the game, you could easily go and take over the entire British Isles. I did that in my own playthrough of the game, just like my first playthrough. I formed Frisia or whatever, and it was just the de jure borders, which at the time were Holland, Gelre, Brabant, and Flanders. And I used that power base to invade the British Isles. I took it all over, and then I expanded onto the mainland, and that was easy. I also played another campaign where I was playing as I believe I became I think it was the King of Pomerania. Yeah, it was the King of Pomerania. I played as a feudal lord here, formed Pomerania, and then just being feudal and therefore being just way more powerful than any of the the tribal countries over here. Now, as you can see, a lot of this is feudal now, but at the beginning of the game, all of this is tribal. Like, all of this is tribal. And I just kept holy warring because they're all different religions. I just kept holy warring and, like, just constantly was able to expand rapidly, and I was able to form first Poland and then the Wendish Empire. And then I even got to a point where I invaded Scandinavia and I could have formed 2 empires. Because that's just how powerful, or how powerful you become if you just abuse the game like that. So we never did any wars like that. We holy warred once for Jutland. That's what it's called, right? Yeah, Jutland. Just to show how overpowered it is and how much territory you can gain off of one easy war. And even though these provinces do suck, over time, if you just give them to a vassal, they'll get built up. You're like, you don't need to keep those provinces. The whole point of expanding like that is that you just get good vassals. You're like, you just keep your like de jure territory in the east where there's castles already, and you are good. So we never did that. We were constantly up against often more powerful foes than ourselves, and we never took the easy way out of expansion. So I really enjoyed playing like that. I'm going to always play like that. Because it's just, that's more fun than it's like rapid, easy expansion. And then all of a sudden you're able to like whale down on Byzantium. But yeah, so that's all I really have to say. I know it was a long episode to end it. We're going to resign the game. Well, let's see what score we got. Before reading this, we can go over all of our rulers. So Duke Wolfgang the Wise ruled for 42 years. Okay, so, wow, Filbert only ruled for 9 years, and he was an amazing character. That sucks. So, he ruled for 9 years, and he got almost half the amount of score as his father did. Then King Wolfgang the Just gained a ton. He gained more than both of his ancestors combined. He was the first king. King Jacob the Mad also gained a lot, so rule for 42, 9, 48, 32. He was the first 50 year. Okay. So King Jacob the Mad. Okay, so King Hendrik the Great ruled for 36 years, and then our next 2 kings actually ruled for relatively short times. You can scroll up and down this, that's cool. Wow, King Hendrik the Great got a lot of freaking score. I'm sure he must have been the one who we were able to form the empire with. We weren't big enough, but I'm sure he had enough he had enough prestige if he had this much score. That's insane. 13. That's basically 14,000 score. Let's see, and he only reigned for 36 years. Let's see how much our emperor got. Well, here, so we got King Anna the Holy, our first queen character, our first and only queen character that we played as, and she was pretty good. She got, 6,600 score. Just an 8-year reign from King Henry. I think that might be the shortest out of all of them. Yeah, Filbert was 9. He wasn't even a king, but still longer than poor Henry. Then here's King Garrett. We had a lot riding on him. We thought he'd be amazing. Holy shit. King Hendrik the Great was barely worse than our emperor, the guy who formed the empire, Emperor Harold the Bold. And Harold the Bold ruled for 60 years. King Hendrik only ruled for 36. That's insane. How the hell do I not remember King Hendrik? That's crazy. Then we have our last guy. He only ruled for 10 years. He's still alive right now, but we're not going to deal with him. So with a score of 71,000, you beat House Dierva, whatever, a dynasty with illustrious ancestors, but by 1066 very much down on its luck. From kings of Italy to minor counts in Burgundy, it looked like a dynasties whose days had passed. They came into a lucky marriage, and the kingdom of Castile and Leon passed into the family holdings, turning the house of whatever again to one of the key players in the European stage. So where is that? Okay, so that's right here. So that's the third best dynasty on the game. Now we could continue and actually get higher. I didn't even know they had the Habsburgs on here. Holy crap. How are they above? How are they below the Capets? I've heard about the Habsburgs a lot. I know who the Capets are, but wow. Yeah, so that's the game. We can export it to U4. I mean, maybe I'll do that on my own time just to go mess around with it. But for now, I think we're gonna quit to the main menu. I think that's all, guys. Hope you've all enjoyed. You guys have. Check out the next series when it comes out.